Big exciting great news tonight as Nancy Pelosi caves in and gives money for the cows. Literally. She agreed with the CR tonight to give money for farmers after not giving any money for the cows. So the purple power worked. That's the great news. The bad news is I have to go back to lobster jokes. So call Hootie. We're ready for some more blowfish. Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm here, you're here, and thankfully now cows can start churning out some more $12 ice cream. It's Evenings LALATE, the greatest program for all cows everywhere. But tonight, that line of jokes apparently is over, as Nancy Pelosi gave an incredible deal after the purple power ramped up. 1 point for the purple power, 0 for Nancy Pelosi, as you achieved your first goal of the week to get the CR done. Next focus is your second stimulus checks. Exciting great news across the board, including that, and additionally a new report out tonight where House Democrats are calling for second stimulus checks, and it was headline news on CNBC. Really exciting night, and I'm glad you're here. Evenings LALATE starts every night at 6:30 with a check, and then goes to Purple Power. That's 30 minutes after this. As always, go to the front of this channel and subscribe. I mean, who else is treating you like one of the herd? And, you know, this is utter nonsense all the time, and you love it. So move out of the way and subscribe. And also drop your comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. And guess what? Last night's show again had 1,274 comments. We're always at 1,200 comments. I think it's an omen. Also like this video because this will be the most moving video you'll see tonight. Let's get to the incredible news. Tonight I'll be going over the CR just briefly. This is really great news because it's an achievement now for the purple power. And second, I'll be focusing on this House Democrats article, which is absolutely incredible, and it also touches on the third item, which is more about that congressional hearing today. And finally, what you need to focus on going in tomorrow morning. A lot of great stuff. Let's get to the news. The CR, which is a congressional budget, which governs the insurance that the government does not shut down on September 30th, required a budget to be balanced, seemed to go astray yesterday as Nancy Pelosi introduced a bill that had no money in it for farmers and was completely different than what she had agreed with Steve Mnuchin. And this is a reoccurring purpose with Nancy Pelosi and certainly with the stimulus checks. This channel ramped up the heat, and I added it with throwing in cow jokes on every single video today. She didn't want to give any money for farmers, and the viewers of this channel, the purple power, ramped it up, and it worked. Tonight, Nancy Pelosi agreed to give money for farmers. The House Democrats' funding had left out $30 billion to replenish a fund that stabilizes prices of farm products that House Republicans had asked for, and she simply tossed it to the side. Does this sound familiar? Well, she agreed to an agreement to add $8 billion in nutritionist she agreed to that in exchange for the Republicans giving $8 billion for nutrition assistance for low-income families and children in this program. Okay, that's incredibly great news for a lot of reasons. One, we're doing concessions. People are negotiating, people are agreeing upon things, so they're acting like rational adults, which is absolutely categorically incredible, great news tonight. It's also really great news because we're never going to hear children going hungry anymore, because apparently she got $8 billion for children going hungry tonight. Pelosi said that she and Steve Mnuchin agreed to increased accountability for farm issues to make sure it wasn't being used for incorrect purposes. I love that. Well, so the people are acting like grown adults. This is quite wonderful. So we don't have to hear about this until December 31st. The great news is that that's one of the items off the list that is not distracting now from your stimulus check. The second one that's slightly off the list is the RBG thing. And let me go over this. The president will announce who his pick is on Saturday in a expected to be a very splashy press conference. But that really won't detract from your stimulus checks because it's really not going to go to anything legislative in the next couple of weeks. No one thinks it's going to be pushed by legislative action in the next couple of weeks. Rather, he's dangling the carrot as a way to sort of ignite his party. But here's the other great, this is the really big great news tonight, is a major new report in CNBC says, this is the actual title of the article, House Democrats push to renew efforts for a second round of $1,200 second stimulus checks, and this was published just 2 hours ago. So it's after afternoon's LALATE. Democrats are saying that we need to send out the stimulus checks and send them out now. This is the second time that we've heard about this in just a few hours. Democrats are pushing tonight amidst discussions held during the Federal Reserve and Steve Mnuchin testimony earlier today. Representative Al Green says the economic impact payments, which are stimulus checks, that's another way to call them, must be made because the rent must be paid. Amen. If we don't do this now, we will put people at risk at being evicted at the time that we're having a pandemic, which is still taking lives in this country. He said that a Government Accountability Office report found that Treasury did not have accurate documents on the people who actually need the first stimulus check. This is quite wonderful. Representative Rashida Tlaib, Democrat of Michigan, also spoke about the hope of a second stimulus check payments and says, yes or no, do you believe another stimulus check should go out for the economy? Mnuchin said yes. The administration does support another stimulus check. We obviously can't pass a bill in the Senate without bipartisan support. Our job is to continue our work of Congress to get additional help to help American people. Tlaib urged Mnuchin to push for more stimulus checks. I think we need to be very clear with the senators that direct payments to individuals is critical to prevent economic impact collapse in our country. Late tonight, there's more clarity about those Larry Kudlow comments in which he said, stimulus may not be needed. Well, the remainder of the comments were, I still support stimulus checks. And this is sort of taking things out of context again, which I really don't like. Larry Kudlow was asked by Major Garrett of CBS last Friday, what's his position on stimulus checks? He says, absolutely, categorically, yes, we're going to send out stimulus checks. And then the president wants it. So I don't know why people seem to always, take the quote out of context. I wish we could break the stalemate, but I hope we can. This is really quite assuring, promising news as we go into the fall polls. And earlier today, I tweeted to you, and I put them on the community page of this channel as well, all the senators who are up for re-election. One viewer asked me, this is a good question to respond to. One viewer said, I don't see my senator on there because not every senator is up for re-election in a given election cycle. So you may not see your senator on there, but if you don't, tweet the other senators. Basically, if they don't want to give you stimulus, we're going to take their seat. It's as simple as that. Tonight, there's renewed energy and optimism for the purple power and everything you're doing, which is absolutely so categorically incredible. You've been so wonderful because you've been on social media very strong and saying, hey, we're getting behind you, problem solvers. We're getting behind you, blue dogs. We're behind you, the New Age Democrats. We want this problem solvers bill passed. We absolutely want it passed. And here's our position. We like the stimulus checks in your bill, but the dependence needs to be changed. Instead of $1,200, it should be instead of $500, it should be $1,200. And that would, in essence, put us the following. $1,200 for adults, $2,400 for married couple, $1,200 for dependents, whether adult or minor dependents, up to a family of $5,000, $6,000. Not taken out for child support, not taken out for collections. Absolutely categorically incredible. Next, FPUC. $450 a week, 8 weeks, and $600 for 5 weeks thereafter, but it's a little more complicated. I'm not going to do that in this video, but we love that as well. We just don't like the retroactive part. We have to have retroactive in there. Then there's money for food, there's money for EIDL, there's money for PPP. That's all great. And there's money for, then there's a student loan forgiveness, and there's rent aid, there's mortgage forbearance. This is all incredible. The only thing that I would change in there is raise any caps for EIDL loans, because LALATE is keeping them too low, raise those caps, and then put some EIDL grant money in there. I had a nice viewer who sent me a DM earlier today, said, I still haven't got to my EIDL grant from June. Yeah, get in line. A lot of people never got their grant, any of the grant. I mean, not even the $1,000. No, a lot of people never got grants, period, and people are entitled to that grant. That could make the big difference. So this is incredible, great news. Additionally, when I talk about the stimulus check, I always forget that the Problem Solvers bill calls for 2 checks. The second check would be in March of next year. So as the Purple Power continues to push, you're doing incredibly great. You should be on social media with the hashtag Purple Power is one hashtag, tweeting those people, getting behind them. The other effort, and this is the other effort, is the president. The president has money to do executive orders. He hasn't done it, and if he doesn't do it, guess what we're doing with him? Yeah. Now, the really good news about the president, but it's not so directly on point that we want to celebrate, is that Larry Kudlow earlier today talked about repurposing money, which is the same verb which I have been using for over 2 weeks. When the president said he had $300 billion of money sitting around that he could use for a second round of stimulus and just needed congressional approval, but then he said, I think I could do it myself, because he can, because it's not in Treasury, it's somewhere else. We said, hey, just repurpose the money. I additionally talked about all that state bailout money that hasn't been used from the first COVID-19 fund, $150 billion there. I said, repurpose that money as well for FPUC, repurpose it for hazard pay. I also said that there was upwards of 200 to about 300 something billion dollars still sitting around in old PPP funds that were never used. I mean, it's very well documented. It's not like I'm guessing about this. Well, guess what Larry Kudlow said today? Yes, we can repurpose that money for more stimulus relief by executive order. Well, just do it, Larry. Come on now. The fact that he's confirming what I've been telling you for 2 weeks is insanely incredible, but it's not incredible until you actually do it. So do it. And so you need to push the Purple Power with the White House. Get the executive order out. What are we waiting for? But tonight, the efforts of getting the CR are not something you should underestimate. It's an incredible achievement for 2 people who clearly met, kept it very quiet. No one knew that Nancy and Stevie were meeting today. No one knew how they were discussing it. The Republicans were very loud and vocal, as we were, and I was with my cow jokes about her leaving out farmers, and quietly, without press, without trashing people like a bunch of children, they did it as adults, and they got it done. So could stimulus be next? Well, the reports tonight suggest that Republicans and Democrats think that this is going to get done, that they think that this is going to get done. And I got to tell you that in a given day, when we're talking about second stimulus, we're talking about so much. We're talking about rent. We're talking about FPUC. We're talking about hazard pay. We're talking about EIDL. These are all in the second stimulus package. And if a person sits back and, sits in a park and talks about the second stimulus as just one item, it's not. He's idiotic, or she's idiotic. The second stimulus package involves a lot of things, and you may qualify for a lot of things. And that money is money that you need. And there was someone who said that they were on social media hashtagging Purple Power, and someone bothered them. So if someone's bothering you on Twitter, for example, that you're tweeting Purple Power, and someone's bothering you, and you see that person being bothered, help that person out. This channel's about helping one another. We don't let other people bother you as well. So to that person, I don't know what happened, but if you see someone bothering someone, you step in and help that person as well. The incredible news tonight is that there's 1,276 comments after last night, where there was 1,256. Every night is 1,200, which I think is really good news. I think that's an omen. Craig Small, let me answer some of your questions right now. Craig Small, if the stimulus isn't done this week, America's going to be in trouble. It can be done next week, so stay calm, Chris. Rafael Hernandez. Pelosi and Schumer Gitmo. Ryan, Congress, you can't keep on annoying Americans anymore. Well said, Linda. Your smile, laughter, and positive attitude is infectious. This is why you have so many followers. Keep up the good work. I'm here to give you information, to keep you motivated, to keep you focused, and keep you educated. And all those things are very important. So thank you for your kind message. Danny, we need it bad. Leo, why don't we take the politician's salary until there's agreement reached? Amen. James, I keep on hearing politicians saying get out there and vote. Leo White, where they are breaking ranks because they want to cover their own butts, not ours. We don't care. What she's talking about is very important, how Republicans and Democrats are not aligning with their caucus and doing things that you want to support, which is they are pushing for a vote. They're pushing for a vote. And she's saying because they're trying to protect their seat in Congress. Well, who cares? That's what we want them to do. That we want them to be felt uncomfortable about their seat. Star, the fact that these funds requested the first deal that they've not even used, but we see in wait. Sherry, protesters on Mitch's lawn this time. You can't keep ignoring. Pamela, Congress should be ashamed of themselves. James, do they actually think the $1,200 is going to really help the people? Kudlow had a remark about this, which at least was economically correct. He says, I don't want to use the word stimulus check to refer to $1,200. He says, this late in the game, it's not stimulus. It's just assistance, which is fine. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, so long as it lands. Sarita Hall, these politicians need to trade places. Aurelia, when are you going to do another special on your opinion on all this? That's a good point. I'll do one. Thank you. Gail Little, only listen to you. You, LA, are a nonsense guy who is helping so many Americans in need. Thank you for what you do for us. I struggle to always find ways for viewers to make money. On the FPUC, the unemployment video today, which was not that well watched, go watch it, please. I went over enhanced unemployment benefits because I know a lot of you are losing, escalated benefits, because I know a lot of you are now out of LWA, and I want you to get more money. So I'm going over enhanced benefits because a lot of you may qualify and not know about it, and could be a lot of money. So that was another method for me to get you money. Robert Wanner, still speculating on another month. It's an incredible night. There's so much happening, and you should be invigorated and focused. The focus is that the vote is imminent, but we need to get to the finish line. There is some distractions out there. The RBG is not really a distraction because of what I told you before. The distractions, however, are that certain economic parts of this country that have strong lobbyists, the airlines, and the hotels are just right at the door. They're about knocking on the door to come in, are pushing like you cannot believe. And they do have politicians in their pockets, and that's what lobbyists are for. And the fact that Senator Wickers and Senator Collins, who's just never been one of my favorites at all, I don't like her, put forward a standalone bill for airlines today was really quite horrible. Airlines need to be in the second stimulus package. If hotels need relief, they need to be in the second stimulus package. No one needs to be jumping ahead of us with a standalone bill. You are the standalone bill. You've deserved a stimulus check for months. You deserve enhanced unemployment benefits for months. You've deserved hazard pay for months. Why are airlines who got a $25 billion bailout in May and you never got your check for stimulus in April? Why are you being put behind them, Senator Collins, behind them, Senator Wickers? And why are hotels that are now, they got 4 rounds of PPP or 3 rounds of PPP, they're now saying, okay, we're out of PPP, we need some more money. Get behind us. We need our money first. We haven't gotten our money. We've been waiting around for months. And so that's the focus to really be invigorated tonight. You're going to get it. You're going to get to the end. Coming up next after this is Purple Power. It's more about understanding things and what you need to get to the finish line. But congratulations. Tonight, the cows are going to be well fed. They'll be churning out that $12 ice cream, and children won't be going hungry. And 2 adults negotiating got a deal done. Will the stimulus check be next? Go to the front of this channel and subscribe. Tonight is a night to subscribe. We are pushing. It's day 2. Don't think that one day is defining your destiny. The end of the world does not end on Friday. Well, unless, you've had too many Mai Tais. The end of the world does not end on Friday. Also like this video because this is a really good video. I am giving you twists and turns like you cannot imagine by the minute, by the hour of every development and every twist that is happening. Every word that is being breathed about stimulus check is coming to this channel. If a congressional leader has a comment about it, if a senator, if a representative, this is all stuff turning by the minute. And it's important to know exactly what's happening by the second. Otherwise, we're just guessing. And that's what the Temple of Doom wants you to do. Not know information, guess, and not be informed. And you're anything but that. Coming up next is Purple Power. As always, have a great evening. Stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and stay with LA.